be a jack of all trades. If you get an opportunity where you can impact people's life in a better way, I think why not? In the entire India, if you look at our population, not even 2% people know how to give CPR. Anyone and everyone is creative. I've kept like 35 minutes every day. Wow. Okay. And trust me, that is my secret sauce. When I joined the organization, I think we were around 375 people. Right now we are 1,200 people. There has been 3 acquisitions, 2 years back. 3 companies. One is Langu Digital, F1 Studios and Social Panga. They are also part of us now. Can I create something that will go viral? Can I create something that people will talk about?
Before we actually start into discussing and actually understanding that how Manesh's journey has been, I want to tell you a couple of cool things about why is he on this side of the table and why is it that we should all learn from his journey. So he comes with almost 25 years of work experience, digital first, brand storyteller. Okay, started with Hangama, and ever since then the journey and the graph has just gone up, up, up. Okay, worked with over 200 plus campaigns, and if I have to name a few, then it would be PepsiCo, Mahindra, HDFC. Yeah, has been part of multiple awards. Rather, I would say that he's won a multiple awards, and alongside that, he's also been jury at cool digital marketing, or rather, I would say marketing conferences. So that's a little bit about him. And before we start, I want you all to give a huge round of applause and thank him that is spending his Thursday afternoon with us. So thank you, Manesh.
Thank you.
As
so I think thank you for such a round of introduction. Really happy and excited to be here with you guys. I was talking about, there are, so we also take a lot of trainings in-house. So I'm feeling home. So we also have a huge knowledge center in our office. So it looks like I'm sitting there, but yeah, sorry. Please.
So starting with first thing that I'd like to talk about, guys. So Manish, you've been part of digital and creative space for a very long time now, right? And you started your journey with being a designer to animator to 3D, right? And it all transitioned you today being at a position and leading the organization, right? So I want to know what sparked interest in, what was that one thing or what was that spark that told you that, okay, I want to be in this field?
Okay, so, this question itself, I think I can spend an entire day with you guys. Okay, my upbringing, very typical middle class. Okay, when you are consuming a content, you are seen as if you are doing time pass. Okay, I used to follow a lot of, now I know what it is, what it means. It meant pop culture, but I used to consume a lot, in my early days, and typically as parents will be like, he's just watching TV. Okay, uh, and I vaguely remember there was a brief period when I saw a documentary on Disney, okay, and how they make films. So of course, people were sketching, they were tracing it out and making it into videos and stuff like that. And I was like, "Arey, ये करने का पैसा मिलता है." Okay, so I was like, this is, and because this is what I used to do, if you open up my school books, half of my books used to be sketching and doodling, then I was like, okay, how do I reach there? Who are the people? Which are the companies who actually do? And when I started researching, I stumbled upon somebody called as a organization called as ILM. Okay, and I would encourage you guys. So they are the OGs in the CG space, in the computer graphics space. It's called as Industrial Light and Magic. All the Star Wars movies, Terminators, everything is kind of created by them. And fortunately, I stumbled upon a Bible. it was a filmmaking Bible. Okay. Uh, and uske baad, I think my journey started. So thankfully, so I think I finished my 12th. Okay. And internet was very young then. So if you know to make a website, you are like a hero.
Wow.
People used to treat you like a hero. And at 18, I was being treated as a hero. Of course, it goes into your head. And then yeah, we did couple of experiments and stuff like that. And then I got a mentor. I met somebody who was who was in the entertainment space, and he used to make promotions for movies and uh, music videos of sort. Okay, and I felt okay, I have arrived. मेरे को मेरा, I've got my mentor. I will not leave him. And of course, my next journey was to kind of impress and show him that I'm capable of doing X, Y, Z. Okay, and thankfully he also showed faith and he trained me. Uh, and I think from, if I'm not wrong, I'm sure most of you guys might not have been, in the inception, but I think 25 years back, for almost 5 years, we were part of a process where we used to create content for films. Okay. Uh, and imagine this, okay. And I reside in Navi Mumbai. I've always been staying that side of the town. Uh, and when there is a break, which used to happen, right? And there used to be ads and music videos and film promos. And when people used to come to our house and we used to say, "Ye maine banaya." Okay, and ye next ye maine banaya. Ye maine banaya. And the people used to come, they used to leave and they say, "यार बहुत फेंकता है ये." Okay, but that is how it was, right? Because nobody could believe that maybe two guys, three guys sitting out of small little space out of Navi Mumbai can actually craft something for a broadcast, which is actually going on TV channels.
Wow.
So yeah, that is how it started. I still enjoy the process. I still feel if I'm not creating something, my day is wasted. So I make sure that I put in that, remove that half an hour somehow, and either write or create or edit or shoot or something I do, just to makes myself a little relevant. And thankfully, God has been kind. For the last 25 years, I've been doing that. Yeah, one thing I forgot to tell, I love Mondays. Okay, and I really love Mondays, and I don't have Monday blues. I'm sure these are so when I enter my uh, office, literally there is like you can hear the the sound of the wind because nobody is there. Okay, but yeah, and the reason, because we are in a space where um, people respect you for your thoughts, for your ideas. So for example, take any one of you, right? You are a collection of 20 years of thoughts, memories, ideologies, core. Okay, and then you kind of draft something. Okay, so your individual thoughts really matters, right? So and of course we go through a churn every day. So when I'm not at work, I kind of look forward to go back to my desk and start creating. So that's, yeah.
Okay, so the one learning from his answer, like while his journey is brilliant, guys, he coined a word called mentor. I mean, rather, you guys are at the age where you actually need to have a mentor. So while you are learning at IID and you may step out of IID soon, you need to know that you always need to have someone who is actually guiding you, or at least someone where you can go and ask for advice. And it cannot be someone who's your friend or your age. That person possibly has to be someone who's had some experience in life, right? So while Manish, you've experienced everything from maybe scratch, like from the time when people were actually doing sketches to doodling and then transitioning, right? So you've actually witnessed an entire evolution in digital marketing or creative space, correct? So, what do you think the role of creativity has transformed over the year? How has it changed?
Okay, so very interesting question. So if I kind of look right now and go into my flashback, things that I used to do, okay, it is not relevant anymore. Okay,
Okay.
I was part of a small little team that used to do rotoscopy. I don't know if you guys
I am
know
not
what
sure.
is that. It is almost like frame by frame cutting of certain things, like a footage and then putting a little filter and all that. And the technology was so nascent then that you had to put people to do that. Okay, and suddenly one day, Adobe comes in and says that, okay, I have a new filter, I have a new tool, I have a new plugin. Okay, and an entire department is being questioned. Okay, how do you know? But I see, and how you said, right? Like uh, the constant evolution of a creative individual. Um, and I think this is my personal journey and my personal story. Might not be true for everybody, but I felt that hunger of learning more, okay, kept me going. So, for example, I started with something called as designing. Then I started giving ideas, okay, and then started writing a little bit. Then somebody said, "Arey, you also copyright." So I was like, "Matlab, you're also a writer." So I was like, "Oh, is that so?" Then he said, "Yeah, because when you used to, typically when you used to make a movie promo or a, music video promo, they used to say, "Arey, this is my idea, now make everything." And in those days, the segregation of a writer or a designer or a director and all that were never there, right? Everybody used to do everything. So that is how, I said, oh, this is how you can also, go to the next stage. Then 3D came in and I was like, "Arey, this is something that is so exciting. Out of nothing, you can make a character and make him or her speak." So then that journey happened. And very interestingly, internet was so new then. Okay. I think during our phase, most of our friends knew how to make a website.
Wow.
Okay. So then it became very easy for us to, and I'm being very proud of this, and I think I will encourage you guys also, be a jack of all trades. Be a jack. Matlab, for example, people should ask, like, everybody here should know how to operate the lights. You should know how to operate the camera. Okay. If that footage is going to the edit, you should know how to edit it, how to put that sound, and think as a director that what the end user will see. So you never know who will pick you from where and put you somewhere. Okay, and that is something precisely happened with me. I was doing something, and one of my mentor felt, "Arey, this guy is doing well. Let him, lead the team. Let him kind of,
Interesting.
do the art direction." And that is how you evolve, right? Thankfully, as I said, being the jack really helps you in a way that if I'm just telling you this, in case if I would have been just thinking in a way saying that, okay, I'm enjoying this process, let me be, I will do only this, okay, then I would have not climbed the ladder and become, maybe the creative lead or the creative chief or the brand custodian for a certain brand. Okay,
True.
so yeah.
Yeah. So hunger for learning new things and being everywhere is something that keeps you going is another key takeaway. But since you've been into industry, worked with multiple brands on multiple campaigns, which campaign from your early years do you still look back? Uh, and that is something that actually defines your
Oh God.
career or the moment.
So okay, I think, and I will encourage you guys also to think this way. I always used to, say this, that I'm working with the best guys. I'm attracting the best work. Okay, and fortunately, that is how best work has come into at least my and my team's life.
Okay.
So I would say I would answer this question slightly differently. My boss, my early mentor used to say that, as a creative individual, your report card will come every Friday. Okay.
Okay.
And what does that mean? That's a very Bollywood language of sorts, because films release on Friday.
Fridays.
You will come to know whether, your last work is doing great or not. And accordingly, you will get the next work. Okay. But I've taken that into every campaign that I'm doing. So if you ask me, my question to myself is, was my last campaign relevant enough? Okay. If I'm making a campaign for you guys, I'm assuming all are Gen Zs here.
Yeah.
Am I being able to, talk to you in your language and convincing you to kind of buy a product? Then okay. Otherwise, I have to do a job. On the campaigns that you said, right? Fortunately, every 2 years, there have been some kind of work that has helped me. So people might not know me, but they might know the work.
Okay.
Okay, that is how I look at, and that's a great sign to be in. And I would say, early in our career, we should do a lot of films. I don't know if some of you guys even know those films. Ishq Vishk, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was Shahid's first film.
Yeah.
So we had done the promo and the posters and the design and everything. Okay, Legend of Bhagat Singh. I don't know if you guys have heard. So that's so they and I kind of, so our entire team was working on that project. Okay, and you as creative, hungry individuals, you were like, okay, can I be part of something? Can I make something in that? And our entire team was working. I said, and I got a chance. I got a chance to work on 3 frames. Okay, and what was those 3 frames? In the film ends, right? They show the original, the original character of Bhagat Singh, and they show the character which is played by the actors, which is say Ajay Devgan and.
Yeah.
तो बोला ये 3 frame तू बना. I said मिल गया मेरे को मेरा jackpot. Okay, I put in everything, and internet was little lazy then. To identify, get the right images was little struggle. Somehow we managed it, and we have that 3 shots there. So in case if you guys see that film again, last में वो shot आता है. Okay, and it is because the user goes through a journey of a crazy storytelling, that the last 3 scenes are very important. And I was like, okay, God is too kind. I've got my frame.
Yeah. So that last actually gave you the next up.
Yeah. And if you ask me, one of the best work that I still feel, that we got as a team was for, you guys have heard of XUV 500.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So how many of you guys know that it's called as 500 and not 500? Okay. So now that's a different brand story that I think you should Google, and you will come to know why Mahindra kind of calls their vehicle 00 and not a 0. Okay, but yeah, the launch of XUV 500 was, I think, one of me and my team's most prestigious work done, I think, 12, 13 years back. So the story was very simple. Uh, the the inspiration of the car was a cheetah.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was a TVC which was made and stuff like that, but they were still looking out for that, okay, one killer idea that will go viral. To be viral was not a term. Uh, and we did something which was not seen in the region before. We tried live AR in India for the first time. Okay. So what we did is we created a digital CGI cheetah, and we took that experience to Auto Expo. Okay.
Wow.
And the idea was such that on a live screen you interact with a digital cheetah of sorts. Okay, and the back end was very amazing. We had so as I said, the technology was a little naive then. So we created like around 20 animations of cheetah doing something. Okay, for example, if somebody touches a certain area, so it'll react in a certain way, and this was all manual. And in the back end, there used to be a guy sitting with a like a keyboard, and depending upon what the people are interacting, they used to press. Okay. The newness of the idea was when, I still remember, and we have enough stories of what happened during those 10 days. But there was this one guy who was a carpenter, okay, who helped us do the setup, of the screens and everything. Okay. So he saw the cheetah interacting, and people are interacting with the live cheetah, and usko, poor guy, he must have never seen something like this before. So he ran out. Okay. And he ran out and he was screaming to his other team members saying that, "Arey, pagal log cheetah laye." Okay, so then we felt, okay, we have done something that, the people are kind of really connecting. And I think the highlight was such, I think Anand Mahindra was, a very popular figure on Twitter that time. So उन्होंने ऐसा एक छोटा सा, we gave him that clip of 25 seconds where he's petting the cheetah. And then that went viral. So everybody during that time was figuring out which was the agency who did this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, that is one work.
Interesting.
I think it was one of the most awarded work in India that year.
Wow. I think it was 2012. I was in my second year. I do remember this campaign. Okay, so while you have led multiple campaigns, very recently LS Digital actually did one campaign with HDFC Life, which was called hashtag the missing beat, right? So let's play this video for them so they know. And then can you just tell us what was it that took you, or what was the behind the campaign idea?
मेरा नाम राजेश है।
मैं अनुभव।
मैं संतोष।
साची, आप ही की तरह हम भी आम लोग हैं।
वही काम,
वही परिवार,
वही सपने, इन्हीं सब चीजों को मिलाकर ही तो हमारी लाइफ बनती है।
आप सोच रहे होंगे कि हम ये सब आपको क्यों बता रहे हैं?
क्योंकि ये वही जगह है जहां हमें
उस दिन कार्डियक अरेस्ट आया था।
मैम, आई ओके?
कोई डॉक्टर है यहाँ? अरे किसी के पास पानी है?
हुआ क्या?
किसी ना किसी ने तो एम्बुलेंस बुला ही लिया होगा।
लेडीज है, हमारा टच करना ठीक नहीं होगा।
काश मुझे सीपीआर आता।
इनकी गलती नहीं है, हमें भी नहीं पता था कार्डियक अरेस्ट से कैसे डील करना होता है। अरे हटिए प्लीज, हटिए साइड पे। भाई साहब, आप एम्बुलेंस को बुलाइए। नो ब्रीदिंग, tilt head, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7। उस एक व्यक्ति को सीपीआर आता था, इसीलिए मैं बच पाया। पर
कुछ दिनों पहले ही मैंने अपनी जिंदगी की नई शुरुआत की थी।
अभी तो मुझे जया के साथ वर्ल्ड टूर पे जाना था।
मुझे अभी लाइफ में बहुत कुछ अचीव करना था।
जब किसी व्यक्ति का हार्ट अचानक बीट करना बंद कर देता है, उस समय सीपीआर यानी कार्डियोपल्मोनरी रिससिटेशन उनकी जान बचा सकता है। लेकिन हमारे देश में 2% से भी कम लोगों को सीपीआर के बारे में पता है।
थैंक यू।
Interesting. So can you take us behind the scene of this campaign, and what was the idea, the execution, and How did it actually impacted?
So, I will like to ask one question. How many of you actually know to perform CPR? Just raise a little. Okay, five people. Okay. Now this is where it started for us. This was a 18 months journey. Okay. When the client briefed us saying that okay, they have a very specific product, a term insurance product for protection as a category.
Okay.
And they wanted to kind of do something, and that was the first time then we started ideating on this thought. The team had written the script, and they came and we discussed, and I felt uh, most of the time we sell, right? Our job is to sell. Rest everything is like glamour around it, right? But if you get an opportunity where you can impact people's life in a in a better way, I think why not? And from that point, we started working on getting information, data, and the more we started doing the research, we felt okay, this if not now, when? For example, just to give you a little idea, in the entire India, if you look at our population, not even 2% people know how to
Performance.
give CPR. Okay. And unfortunately, there have been so many cases within my community that I saw where one poor kid he drowned in a swimming pool, and there are like 5 trainers and nobody knows how to do a CPR. Okay, there was a one neighbor of ours, poor guy, he had a cardiac arrest, and similarly, there were nobody, like even the guy who is carrying him in the ambulance, he can't perform. Okay, and you hear that, okay, and the doctors are saying that okay, kuch kar liye hote, I would have got some time. Okay, and that really bothered my entire team and us, saying that अरे कुछ तो अपन करना चाहिए, right?
Correct.
So that is how it started. We multiple drafts were made of this, and then this project came into existence. Very kind of the brand that they felt of doing this. Also because as a brand, they also felt that there are a lot of heart attack cases that is coming to them, and they are giving claims of those cases, right? They felt this is important, people should talk about it. So hence the campaign was conceived, and we also did a follow up of this campaign called as the Missing Beat Second Chance, where again it was taking one step ahead of how we can learn CPR. Thankfully, the matrix of this campaign is not how many views, how many likes, how many shares. Okay. uh, if you ask me, I'm still looking from that perspective. Have we managed to educate people? Have we managed to even save a single life? Okay, then I think our existence in this field might be validated of sorts. So
Yeah. So another interesting learning from his answer and this campaign is that in today's world where all you guys, you end up looking at the matrix, like the data point, right? What is the impressions, or how many likes have you got, or how many people have engaged, or how many people have shared, or how many people have commented, right? Is there anyone who is actually going beyond this and actually looking at creative campaigns and not just considering the digital aspect, but are also considering traditional aspect? Because this had like this campaign, it's while they would have got great engagement, great business, great outcome from it, it also left behind a message, boss ye aana chahiye, right? So that was really cool. So how do you keep up with creativity and fresh work, and like try to be ahead of trends? What is it that you constantly do for that?
okay, first, love for the craft. Okay, if you are not loving what you're doing, okay, I think you guys should, or anybody should kind of figure something, which you can, take up for long. So, uh, you know, I think, this is my thought, and I might be wrong, but I feel, you know, anyone and everyone is creative.
Fair.
Okay, and I'm not demeaning anyone, but for example, even if I, sit with my most junior team, or even a support staff, or anybody,
Yeah.
we can make sure that we can get crazy ideas from them also. Okay, uh, but how do you jump from here to any particular position is learning the craft, honing the skill. Okay, and thankfully, um, even in our organization, we believe in training a lot. So it starts from self training.
Yeah.
And then of course you train your leaders, and then the leaders then train the rest of the organization and the teams, and even clients for that matter, right? Yeah, I think.
So right now we were having an interesting conversation, and I was trying to understand, how is it that they hire, or how is it that, they actually work with the teams that come at a very junior or maybe at an intern level. And he told me an interesting story of how they actually train people who join, and the training is right from the top management till everyone who is at TL level. So when someone goes and when someone is learning, it's not just that they are learning from the teacher who's supposed to teach, but they are also actually learning by the people who founded the company. So the right kind of mindset is going down till the last person standing in that organization. With this, Manesh, while we talking about all these successful campaigns and the ideas and the creativity, in your career, I'm sure you would have encountered a campaign or a work that would have not gone as per your plan, right? So, what is your experience from there, or what is it that backfired, or were you guys able to actually support and close it on a positive note? Can you share some light there?
It's a daily battle. Okay, and trust me, you guys are coming into this field, not scaring you, but rejection in our jobs is so common. Okay, it is so common that it is not funny. Like imagine you are you're spending your day night making a deck, and then just one line, maza nahi aaya, thrashes everything. And then again you have to go back to the drawing board, and then forget, and like you can't even mourn the loss of the idea. Okay, you have to jump again back, refresh yourself, and start again. So it's a daily battle. So ऐसे तो बहुत campaigns है. So for example, if how you were saying that, okay, we as collective team members, we must have made like 400 campaigns and stuff like that. I'm sure 1,000 campaigns or 1,000 ideas must have been rejected. But I will talk about one campaign which is, I think I have not let go of that pain and anger, or that, I have not healed yet. So there was this one campaign. Again, this was for one of the Mahindra auto brands. And so they had given us a very interesting brief. They wanted to celebrate, you know, uh, the king of pop, which is MJ. And there was a very specific activity that we had done. And I was, I'm still a, like an MJ fan. And I felt, okay, this is my dream. This is my dream brief. I've मतलब यही करने के लिए मैं पैदा हुआ हूँ. That was my, and we put in everything. Okay, and we did a crazy innovation, and I think it was not thought or done before. It was like, you go onto Twitter and you scroll, and with an illusion effect, you can see MJ moonwalking. Okay, and it was a crazy work. The team and we all of, I think, must have invested 25 days on that campaign. The client was, we felt, मतलब सब मिल गया
Hard दिया है.
हाँ, award मिल जाएगा, सब मिल जाएगा, all that, it will go viral and all. And for some reason, of course, for every campaign has to go through the legal team, right? So they said ये अभी MJ family को भेजना पड़ेगा for approval. Okay, and MJ family kind of sits out of the US, and so everything is ready. Imagine everything is ready. Your campaign is ready. You know, all the assets are ready. We're just waiting to go live, and we hear the obvious saying that we cannot use the assets. We cannot make this. We cannot. You know, we don't have the rights to use it and stuff like that. And of course, we are devastated. You know, howling, crying, all that is happening. And yeah, you know, even grown men can cry. uh, and so sweet of the client, you know, they know that, you know, we are grieving and stuff like that. So they sent us a lot of goodies and saying that it's okay. But the lesson I'm trying to say is, you know, I was in a mourning period for almost 20 days. Okay. I was not paying attention to any other briefs. I was not in my element. Okay. And then, of course, somebody pulled me up saying that, you know, this is not how it is supposed to be done, you know, and you let go of that. ठीक है, वो अच्छा था, but it didn't have. So yeah, so that video is still there in my unlisted video on YouTube, and I go there once in a while to
Just go through it. Interesting. So, while this happened, Manish, who from the industry is like a constant source of inspiration for you and like, you know, your work?
oh God, okay. So ये इसके लिए 2 घंटा लगेगा. So, you know, of course, you know, there are so many people, so many, I can't. So, starting, you know, of course, everybody knows Piyush Pandey and the awesome Google team. They're doing some crazy work. I don't know if, like, we really respect their work. So, there are two gentlemen called as Aggie and Paddy. If you guys heard of them. Yeah. Okay, so they are like, you know, crazy, you know, the real ad men. I would encourage you guys to Google. So all the Times of India ads, Mumbai Mirror ads, Airtel, Her Friend Zaruri Hota Hai. It's all been done by them. Plus, there is a very senior gentleman called as E. Suresh. Please write it down,
Yeah.
Google him. He's the father of Indian animation in the ad world. Even now, when he posts his daily, you know, like he does this daily ramblings of sort, even those has the power of going viral, you know.
Wow.
And yeah, crazy guy. Uh, and then who else? In the latest, you know, the new agencies and the new leaders, Raj Deepak Das from Leo Burnett, they've been doing some crazy work. They've built an awesome culture. Ashish Khazanchi from Enormous. I don't know if you guys have heard of these people. They are the real, you know, OGs. You should be looking up. And of course, the new, not new, they've also been in the system for some years. PG Aditya and his talented team. I don't know. I think these are the few names that you should scan them, follow them, stalk them, see what they're doing.
Absolutely. So, all these great campaigns are always because we have a backbone, which is a great team, right?
Yeah.
And it's always a teamwork.
Absolutely.
Who are some of the key people at LS that our students should actually follow or look up to? Because while you were telling me the story of how you all have scaled up and how today at LS you also have people who've been part of this company right from intern, but today they are in system for over 10, 12 and 15 years. So if you can give some names.
So, you know, LS Digital as an organization is, you know, it's a very, I would say, you know, there are a lot of leaders, okay, who are kind of running their respective shows. But it starts with the founder. So Prasad Shezale, he's our founder. A tech guy who's kind of built an entire, you know, digital marketing ecosystem of sorts. So when I joined the organization, I think we were around 375 people. Right now we are 1,200 people.
Wow.
There has been three acquisitions, you know, 2 years back. Three companies. One is Langu Digital, F1 Studios, and Social Panga. They are also part of us now. And so yes, Prasad, I think you should definitely follow. because he's a master class in itself. So he signs off saying digitally yours. So and of course, all the campaigns that you see, right? Most of the work is done by my team, and the credit goes to me. So there have been some great leaders in my team who have been running the show. So there is Nishant Patil. He is in my team. Uh, Very senior gentleman, 25 years experience. He leads the entire design team. He's fondly known as Buppy in the industry. Very senior guy. All the crazy ideas, I mostly jam with him because in the space that we are in, right? We need soundboards. I call it the soundboards where you bounce ideas and you check validation. And most of the time, whenever I jam with him, मेरे ideas reject होते हैं. So I keep that doing, and he has a great sense of humor. Yeah, you can look up for him. There is another leader that we had, Dipshika Ravi. She was our creative lead, and now it's been 2 months that she's moved to competition. But she helped build us an entire creative ecosystem. Great women leader. Training the next batch of women leaders is something that she is passionate about, and of course a very strong partner. So yeah, these are few people I would encourage you guys to look up.
Interesting. So you just mentioned about your founder, and you mentioned a word which is tech guy, right? And today, AI and automation is something that is changing game in every industry, be it creative, be it performance, right? What does this mean for agency, or how do you see this impacting professionals who are creative in nature, or who have inclination towards creativity?
So, very interesting question, and I think I've been, talking about it, screaming on every forum that I've been called, starting from Adobe to industry events and all that. So, first thing is, uh, the people have made it, अरे AI आ गया है, all that. Yes, आया है, it's okay. But don't fear about. There is nothing to fear. Absolutely nothing to fear. It is just a tool.
Exactly.
Okay, it is a tool that will help you do better. You will. So, for example, how many books, on an average, somebody reads, right? Even if whatever, say 10 books in a month for somebody who's, great.
Bookworm.
Okay, but now imagine this: you have an assistant, okay, who's non-judgmental. Okay, he has the information of the world. You want an insight, you want a thought to validate, you throw, you ask, you debate, and you get something, right?
Yeah.
And imagine he's not even like bothering you. He's like the non-judgmental guy. So why don't we use, these tools? Uh, I am very passionate about what is happening in the AI space. Uh, I feel as I think this is the right time for creators like us, creators like you, or brand custodians. You guys will become soon. For them, you wake up, like, at least this is for me. I've kept like 35 minutes every day to learn a new tool.
Wow.
Okay, and trust me, that is my secret sauce. Because
Very interesting.
yeah, because you should, like, I don't know if you guys have seen, Puma yesterday launched a TVC. Okay, I think just Google it. They've launched a TVC which is made completely from AI. Okay, people are bashing it left, right, center, saying that KR, this is the most cliche thing ever and all that. But look what is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would, and I've been telling this on every forum, the earlier you embrace this, the earlier, you will be in at a better position.
Yeah. You'll go farther.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you had to create a creative marketer starter pack,
Oh.
what are the 3 must-haves that every young marketer needs before they actually get into the industry?
Okay, I think I briefly spoke about this, but I'm just making a marketing kit right now in my head. So I think the first is it's a very Indian word. You guys might, I'm sure everybody will know this. You know, the Jugadu mindset. Okay, please inculcate that into everything that we're doing. Uh, for example, you might not always get the budgets. You will not. Once in a lifetime, you see a campaign like Dream 11 where you know the best of the Bollywood and the best of the cricket coming together. And I don't know if you guys are seeing the chatter on the internet. Everybody is jealous of them, saying that कि कैसे budget आया. But you know, ठीक है, that's a different story. But sometimes you might get petty cash for your campaign. Okay, so how do you make sure that you within that almost no budget, can I create something that will go viral? Can I create something that people will talk about? So that is one thing. So try and keep that that jugadu mindset. Second, see, we are in a space where I'm using a cricket reference here. Everything is T20. Okay, so for example, 50 overs match. I'm sure none of you guys must, or maybe few of you guys must have seen it, right? But IPL is gonna start and everybody will follow it. So that is technically happening in our mind space in advertising also. We keep blaming the attention span, saying that we don't have it and all that jazz. Uska, I have a different point of view. If we have good content, I will continue to binge watch and see it. That's a different story. But yeah, so have that 2020 mindset in your head, saying that okay, 20 over hai, how I can maximize things so that when I'm going, in the last overs, I don't feel the pressure. Okay, so that is something that you should think. Uh, yeah, and maybe I say this a lot to my team, and I'm just repeating that again. See, you guys are right now, very fresh, right? In terms of that core belief system is not formed yet. Be like a sponge. Okay, absorb on a daily basis. Absorb, okay, and squeeze whenever required, and then again go and absorb. Okay, that is how you will be able to because there will be so many new challenges thrown at you every hour at work.
Yeah.
Okay, and the more you do this, I'm sure it might help.
Yeah, I think these were really cool three things that one must actually take away. While you were answering this, you mentioned attention span, and with the rise of reels and the short form of content, how do you see the role of storytelling evolving in marketing?
Okay, so see, and this is a debate that I have with a lot of my marketeers. Okay, so some years back, uh, when social media was coming in, right? So everybody, including the big platforms, I will not name. I work with them, I make sessions with them, but I will not name. And there was this fear, right? Saying that, "Arey, go to social media, go to social media. There is nothing remaining in the website." And people ran to social media. Okay. Then came a phase saying that, okay, nothing is happening here. Go back to your personalized websites and stuff like that, right? And there are these guidebooks also, which says that, okay, 6 second mein story banao, the brand should come in the first 3 seconds, all that jazz. Okay. But if you look at, the best ads of the country, okay, not now, like when does the brand comes in, right? And they still are relevant. Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel it is okay. You can experiment. In fact, I fight with my clients, and then most of the time, I think they let me win. They let me experiment. So we start with saying that okay, the campaign is we'll make 5 3 second 30 seconders, and then eventually we make 3-minute 2 films, you know. That is how, you know. And the reason I'm saying this is because whenever we have done a good story, okay, the duration doesn't matters. Okay, I have enough data to prove that, you know, people are sticking to the video for 70%, 80% of the time. That means there is something, right? And also, see, you know, we will have to uh, we'll have to, you know, also consider this, that our content that we are creating, right, it is competing against whom? When you go onto your feeds, you know, can I compete with a, you know, Bhuvan Bam? Can I compete with you know, the new age influencers? नहीं होगा ना, challenge होगा. So imagine in that I have to be relevant. I you know, people should be sticking, and thumb stopping creatives has to be made. So yeah, so it's
Interesting. So while we're talking about creativity, while all these young guys, they get into the like, you know, in the industry and they start their journey, if they want to get into digital creative roles, what specific skills or experience would you suggest them, or they should have to have them an edge over a applicant maybe who's part of the same interview?
sure. I think very interesting and valid question. See, because as I said, right, everybody is creative. Everybody is creative. Like, for example, if, you know, the same question is thrown at, you know, somebody in the last row versus you guys, you know, everybody will have a very different point of view. The difference is, are you do you have the, you know, enthusness in the work that you're doing? That, you know, people will pick immediately. You know, your body language will say it a lot. Okay, so are you excited for the job? That is one. Have you guys done enough research for a campaign that you're, or, you know, for the job that you're going into? Um, and trust me, the research that you'll be doing, it will never go for waste. Okay, people will acknowledge you for that, you know, that small little research that you're doing. Um, there is a format that we use in our office, and I think maybe you guys should also do. We have something called as the trending group. Okay, which is almost like a broadcast group for, you know, the entire department of sorts. Anything that is happening interesting in the space, वो 10 बजे के पहले ग्रुप में आ जाता है. Okay, and then the team kind of figures whether this is relevant for any of our brands. If it is relevant, in the next half an hour, can we quickly make a content and get it for approval? Okay, now this has been, I think for the last 5 years, this is my daily scream. Okay, and I think I'm the, you know, the guy who kind of keeps, you know, like the society groups, they keep spamming. I'm the one that keeps doing it. But the people who pick it, right, they are ready for their pitches. They are ready for that client conversations. So I think, yeah.
Interesting. So this basically also helps one, like, you know, within the company, when you guys end up facing the operational disconnects, like within the team, say for example, BDCS conflicts, or maybe a social media and a creative guy conflicting, right? So
Sorry, can I add something?
sure.
So also most important, I think, maybe I don't know if, you know, you guys as a institution, you emphasize this a little more, but communication is is absolute, you know, like necessary. Without that, so when I'm saying this, we people are different kind of, you know, somebody are extrovert, some are introvert. They're great with, you know, writing, but they're not great with communication. Some guys are great at art, but if you ask them to present and tell their stories, they'll not be able to. Okay, so the more you communicate with your work, right? For example, if somebody has told you to make an ORM report, somebody has told you, okay, you know, stack this data for your next, you know, review. How do you tell a story with that? Okay, and that will kind of really help you. So hence I'm saying, please pick up your communication in a way that, you know, you really stand out. You know, so I'm assuming this is what 60
Yeah.
60 ka strength right now.
Yeah.
hone your storytelling skills. Even if you get 2 slider, you guys should be able to make an impact.
Absolutely, 100%. I would agree to this, and I would really recommend that. Yes, this is something worthwhile, and one must have this skill. So, since you've been into industry for over 2 decades now, what's the one thing you knew that, or rather, what is that one thing you wish you knew when you started?
Okay, so first, yes, it's been 25 years, but I still feel like a fresher. Okay, and trust me, I think that is the only way you can be relevant. The question that is asked, right? It's okay. It might sound very small, but I think it is important to ask for help. Okay, our ego comes in between. Okay, saying that, "Arey, I've done this for years. I'm a rock star in my category. How will I say that I don't know this?" Okay, and most of the time, it is like, how do I even acknowledge in front of a larger group saying that I don't know this shit. Okay, so and I started doing this later in my career when being the cool, arrogant, creative guy was okay. I let go of that image, and then it was okay to ask. I started a little late, but wish थोड़ा पहले किया होता, things would have been little faster.
Interesting. And what is one key piece of advice you would want to give them for their next steps? Because while you've passed on, like, while you've been there for 25 years, there are a lot of things that you would have learned. But if you have to had to give them only one piece of advice, what would that be?
Okay, can I give 2?
Sure.
Okay, so first is very important, right? Very important. Like even in digital marketing, right? There are hundreds of I would say subsections that we do, right? At least identify in your head which is the cluster that I want to be part of. Okay, and it can have a certain branching here and there. So for example, when I'm saying I want to be in the content space, okay, so then it is understood that I will also do influencer marketing, I will also do ORM when it is required, and stuff like that, right? So similarly, identify which is that cluster that will help you, so that in case after 6 months you've got into a role where you're not liking it, at least there is some branch that you can hold and then move on. Okay, that is one. Second, networking. Okay, very important. I'm sure he's smiling because he's already said this to you guys. Again, this is my my personal learning. I'm learning from my mistakes. I did this quite late in my career. Okay, so for example, you guys are getting into a job, right? You should know who are the people who have already cracked it, okay, by heart. Like if I ask you, okay, say if you're in the content space, if I ask you who are the top 10 creatives in the country, ऐसा नाम निकलना चाहिए, okay, or the planners, the best planner of the country, you should know who are these people. And most important, network with them. You never know, and trust me, I'm saying this with experience, you never know how that 5 minutes of conversation will shape your career. You might be sitting in their office working with them, you never know. So it is very important to network. And I think, and I've seen this, most of the senior guys, right? Most of the senior guys, they are humble. They will always want to help.
Yeah.
Because when they were, trying to, climb the ladder tha hi nahi. Okay. So now they will always offer. So it's absolutely okay to, do that.
For them, it was more like DIY.
Yeah.
Do it yourself and just figure it out. Okay, interesting. So, while he's given us a lot of insights and advice and ideas, let's do a very quick rapid fire with him to understand if we put across some situation, what is it that he's going to pick up. Okay, so I have a certain set of.
So recently there was a Adobe event, and Raju Hirani was part of, that session.
Okay.
And he was blaming Karan Johar for, for this rapid fire thing on every content.
But I think it's very, very cool. It puts you on spot, and in case if you're not aware of what is going to come next, it makes it a little more fun.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So this rapid fire is more to do with the industry, with the 25 years that you've been, and we'd like to know if we give you option to select what is it that you select. So art or analytics?
Any day art.
Coffee or tea?
Can I say lassi?
Okay. Branding or performance?
Okay, it's like choosing between two favorite cousins. I will say branding.
Apple or Android?
I think they know the answer.
Speed or perfection?
Speed.
Creative freedom or structured process?
So when I was young, I used to love creative freedom. Okay, and you will see this across whenever you meet a creative person, right? He will not want to be bothered by, don't tell me what to do. This is not whatever, right? They will want that freedom, but a structured process after a certain point of time really helps. But I will go with creative freedom.
Okay. Casual games or immersive AR VR?
So I've done both in my life, but I think I will pick AR.
Okay. Solo brainstorming or team collaboration?
Yeah, with the team anytime.
Early morning meetings or late night creativity?
So I have graduated from late night meetings to early morning meetings. So
awesome. So gut instinct or market research?
So very interesting. For the last few campaigns, we have done market research and we have went with the gut.
Okay.
And thankfully the client also was aligned. So
Okay. Now there are a few questions, and you have to answer in either sentence or a limited words.
Okay.
So one brand you'd love to work with but haven't yet.
Oh, there is so many of them. Okay, but the top is I want to work with Nike.
Okay.
And Apple.
Okay.
So it's been my
campaign that you're jealous of.
Jealous? Oh, there are so many. I
You
can't
have to pick one best.
So if I take the latest one, I think the Dream 11 RK versus the Ranveer Singh Kapoor.
Yeah.
That is a different one. That is Sunil Gavaskar and Rishabh Pant. ठीक है, मैं उससे भी jealous हूँ.
Your go-to stress buster.
Okay, बहुत सारे हैं. So I listen to music a lot. I think I've built my entire personality around pop culture. So I like to go to meme pages and see what is happening there.
Okay.
And maybe chilling with friends. Yeah.
Nice. One mistake you'll never make again.
Oh.
Manesh is like, क्या पूछ रहा है मेरे से?
Okay. So sometimes as a leader or as an individual, you're kind of walking a thin rope, saying that okay, you're the bad cop, you're the good cop. Okay. And sometimes because you don't want to come across as a bad cop, you do things behaving like a good cop and it affects in the wrong way. So I think वो नहीं करना चाहिए.
Okay, I can relate to what you're saying. Interesting. A work-related app you can't live without.
Can I say Instagram? Yeah, because
काम वही है.
so even my WhatsApp status says that can't talk, I'm busy on Insta.
Where do you see digital as a medium or a channel or an industry in next 5 years?
Oh, this is one of my favorite questions, because uh, when we started, we were given the last two slides of an integrated deck. I don't know if you understand the value of what I'm saying. So integrated deck is when say multiple agencies, multiple platforms coming together and making a deck, saying that I will start with TVC, I will do hoardings, I will do print, I will do this, and the last two slides used to be digital. Okay, so I come from a generation like that, and now we have evolved into a way that everything is digital. Okay, and in the next 5 years, okay, things are gonna be crazy, like literally crazy. जैसे वो समय रहना बोलता है ना, with one phone, one phone, you are a creator, you have a global audience.
Yeah.
So I met somebody 2 days back. That guy sitting out of Kerala is making short films, okay, which is getting featured in Sundance.
Wow.
Okay, and that he is making it on his phone. So the future is crazy. It is bad. It is bold. It is exciting.
Interesting. So, I would say that the kind of questions or the journey that I wanted for him to share with us and the words that he's coined a lot of keywords today, and I think I have habit of coining them whenever I go to class and teach. So the ones who've already learned would know that I keep using these keywords, and I'd like to tell him a big thank you for it, because when I say, you would be like, हाँ गोगरी बोल रहा है. But when someone validates it, and someone who has a really strong backbone, or rather I would say strong experience in the industry, it's actually a learning for all of us. So a very big thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
With this, guys, we are open to taking questions from you.
So as your experience, and you said that the one common thing in our industry is that rejection. So what is...
Sorry, it's
rejection.
rejection.
Is rejection. So what is that elements or things which you keep in mind to avoid rejections like frequently?
Okay, if we could crack that, we would be God. But yeah, few things I will. So the most important part is right. Things that are in our control. Can we do that better? For example, can we prepare for the pitch a little better? That we can do. Can we put the right amount of time which is expected for that outcome, output, whatever it is? Can we do that? We can do. Can we collaborate and make sure that the collective team that is going, they feel we have got something in our hand and we can go and sell it. Can we do that? We can. So these are few things, and trust me, it is sometimes it happens that the most, so this is a format, right? Like we take two good ideas and we take one just for the heck of it. Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes that one not so good idea is getting selected, and then you're worried, why do मतलब अभी इसका मैं करूँ क्या, ऐसा भी होता है. So I think prep is the only I would say cushion that you have.
One more question. What are the problems or difficulties the marketers are facing in today's AI world, and how they can overcome it? Can you give us a few tips or tricks?
Okay, so you have asked two questions. One is, what is the brand, I would say, is facing a problem. That is what you're saying, right?
No, marketer.
Sure. So marketers and what you said?
What are the difficulties or problems the marketers are facing in today's AI world, and how they can overcome it? Can you give us some tips or tricks?
You did answer that question.
So I think I will say it in a way. See, the brand and the marketer guys, they are very happy. The trouble is with us, the guys who are executing it. You know, they are going through the churn. They are making sure that, अरे ये नया कुछ आ गया. Are you ready for it? There is a new stack. There is a new AI thing. You know, so I think I would still see, you know, even from the brand side, they have a different problem to solve. They will want more consumer to connect with them. They will want more communities to be made. They will want more validation in terms of UGC content. They will want, okay, my follower growth should increase and all that. You know, that typically remains there. See, ultimately, you know, both the brand and us, we are nothing but glorified salesmen. That is our job. Baki everything, you know, the designations, everything that we add, that is all secondary. It is like, okay, can I sell this product a little better? And you as a custodian, can you remember my brand beyond the buy more? If I can do that, I think we have solved a certain.
Interesting. Anyone else?
I've been asking these questions from day one to Sean sir also. Like, since you said being jack of all trade, and we've been also having presentations like every month, every 15 days. So there's this one thing come up that creative block aa jata hai, or something we can't think of, like campaign idea, be presentation. And since you are also doing a lot of things, do you face creative block, or if yes, how do you deal with it, and how do you do that?
Trust me, okay, just because, you know, after maybe few years of experience, ये block चला जाता है, ऐसा नहीं है. Okay, every new brief that you hear, you always feel that. Okay, and the best way, and this is my, I would say this is my hack. I go to my best guys. Okay, I chat with them. I have conversations with them, and they give me a seed. Then I take that seed and then make an idea. So I think you should, you know, interact more with people when you are almost like hitting a dead wall. You can take the help of AI also, you know, and use it as a assistant in a way, saying that, okay, I'm really stuck. Help me with something, and you'll be surprised with the kind of directions that, you know, it throws. And it is absolutely okay to not take any of them. Okay, and trust me, it happens. Yeah, and I've been doing this a lot. When I'm trying to make something, there are references that comes in. There are, you know, a certain way of storytelling. Then I drop everything and then start.
Interesting. Anyone else? Any other question? Yes, please.
So you mentioned that you need 30 minutes to learn new tools. So what are the recent tools that you learned, or like the top tools that you would tell us?
I don't know if you guys have. So I was trying it yesterday. So Adobe they keep launching the new variants, right? You guys have heard of Acrobat?
Yeah.
Okay. So Acrobat mein now they have enabled AI. Okay. And I don't know, like I was telling my Adobe partners saying that, you know, I get scared to come into seminars. You know, because you know, you are completely shaken, saying that, you know, for a certain insight, you might spend like a week speaking to people, consumer groups, and so, and now just a tool is going to give you that. So
Wow. Interesting. Anyone else? Any other questions?
We are always familiar with this quote that great artists don't copy, they steal. So can you give us some examples of the campaigns? Like great artists don't copy, but they steal.
okay, on camera.
Yeah.
So you know, I would, and I might sound a little controversial here. See, nobody's original here. You know, if original hote, तो we would have been gods. Okay, you know, every individual kind of takes, you know, something. You know, so for example, if I'm having a conversation with you and there is something that really hit, you know, me, I will keep that seed, right? And then I will kind of go into my next project and I'll maybe mash it up and make something out of it, right? So taking reference is, I think, is okay. Okay, I'm saying it on camera. It's okay, but what is your piece in it? how it is different. मतलब ऐसा क्या किया that now it is sounding like your idea, you know, and it looks like okay, हाँ, now it is making sense. I think that is something that you should look for. There are a lot of campaigns like this, you know, we have done, you know, where you know, people steal.
They paraphrase the idea. Okay, interesting. I hope that answers your question.